for more on the Netball World Cup, let's go to our sports reporter, Liezl Olivier, who's joining us from Cape Town. Liezl, good morning. Thank you so much for making time for us. A victory there for the Proteas and also a grand opening to this netball tournament.
It was such an amazing experience indeed yesterday. Goosebumps all over. You even got a little bit emotional because there was such a big crowd here. Overwhelming support for the Proteas. And even the Proteas last night told us that it was a very emotional moment for them and a lovely moment for them as well to have so many home fans here in Cape Town. So today we have another very busy day lying ahead, and the first matches have already taken place. New Zealand, the defending champions, ranked second in the world, beat Uganda 54-44, and then Fiji beat Zimbabwe 52 goals to 45, which is a very, very, very narrow score, a close score indeed, and the Zimbabweans obviously played really, really well. This afternoon at 4 o'clock, South Africa will be up against Sri Lanka. It will be interesting to watch that match, but before we get there, I'd like to welcome our two analysts again, Sino and Kene, to chat about the games that have been taken place. Sino, but I do want to start with you first because we didn't get to speak about the Proteas last night. What were your impressions?
Thank you so much, Liezl. So we did touch on the Proteas a bit yesterday. So the Proteas, they had a really good game. However, we did feel that the margin in which they won the game could have been bigger, because we've won against the Wales with way bigger margins. And if we're looking at the games that we're still to play, tomorrow taking on Jamaica, and if you look at how Jamaica took on their game yesterday with a goal, winning by 80 goals, and that's who we're going to play tomorrow. And, defensively as well, the Proteas seemed to struggle a bit yesterday, but it somewhere did then come together. We had a strong attacking side, but they really did a good job. But I just feel that we could have done way better defensively so that we could, have a bigger margin in that win over there.
We will have an opportunity to talk about the Proteas again later today. But Kenny, I want to ask you about New Zealand and Uganda. What is showing about from Uganda? What do you think about what they did on the court today?
I think they definitely sort of played true to form. Nolin Turua has always alluded to the fact that Uganda is a tough team to play against because they just don't have the structure that they're used to. And any structures that they try and set up against a team like Uganda usually is broken up if there's no discipline on it. And that's something that the coach did bring up yesterday as well, that they really need to have the discipline in this tournament in order for them to pull through and defend their championship.
It was difficult for the Ferns, though, to score goals initially, especially in the first and second quarters. And it's only in the third and fourth quarters, basically, that the New Zealanders managed to pull away from the Ugandans slightly. So the defensive efforts of the Ugandans were very good initially.
Yes, absolutely. I do feel like the Silver Ferns didn't have the flow and the second phase depth that they had in the game yesterday in the opener. They didn't have the ease into the circle with Grace Wiki, very hesitant in terms of feeding into the circle, which then attests to the fact that the defense was really, really strong and really confusing the space and not knowing then the New Zealanders where to put that ball in.
Do you think New Zealand should be a little bit worried at this stage? Because yesterday as well, Coach Nolin was not happy with the performance of the players, and it was also a big struggle, although I know New Zealand wanted a tough battle against the Ugandans and potentially will be the toughest opponent in their group. Do you think they're a bit worried?
I'm not going to say worried. I think everybody here is coming, worried because we can't just take it for granted just because they're the defending champions that it's going to be easy for them. And the coach did mention yesterday that they actually did lack a bit of discipline there. And I don't know if it's got anything to do with who the opponent is. So I don't think it's that. They want it. They're going to go for it. Not worried, but it's just that they need to keep to what they've been practicing off the court, on the court, So they just need to go back to basics as well. Yes, they are the defending champions, but basic. And as Kenny said, with this game that we were watching right now, they struggled, with that second attack, getting the ball into Grace Wiki. It was as though they're hesitant. It seemed as though they don't trust their feet, so I don't know what was happening over there. So it's just, in a game, in the World Cup, you always need to bring your A game, whether you're the defending champions or not, and that's what New Zealand needs to keep, remembering.
Super performance by Zimbabwe. to play so well against Fiji. Very close game.
Yes, definitely very close game, and I think the Gems are a team that, like I said, were under the radar because they're not part of the Commonwealth, so other teams were not able to see, what type of style they play, who their players are. But I think having a player like Liezl Olivier, who's in the UK playing for the Surrey Storm, just shows the caliber of players that they do have, and that's why they were able to start their game like they did yesterday.
Then at 11 o'clock, we also have Jamaica up against Wales and Australia-Tonga. I just quickly want to touch on the Australia-Tonga match because the Australians are first-ranked, top team in the world. But they've got a former diamond in the Tongan team. And also a lot of Tongan players and coaches are involved or know the system well in Australasia. What do you think is going to happen there, Sino?
Look, Tonga's not going to take this one lying down because if you watch the game yesterday, they're also a very physical team, and they beat Fiji yesterday, if I'm correct. So they're going to come in here physical, and they're going to want to. They're playing the best, so they're going to bring their A game. So I'm really, really keen to see that game, as well as obviously the Jamaican-Wales game. We're really looking forward to see that, obviously because we're playing Jamaica tomorrow, so we will actually want to see where we stand over there. But really, really looking forward to those games that are going to play now.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Jamaica-Wales game exactly because we are playing Jamaica tomorrow. But it's going to be a tough game, Jamaica-Wales, and the Wales put up such a good fight last night.
Yes, they definitely did put up a good fight, and I think where they won it or made it difficult for us was definitely in their mid-court. But I think, it's going to be a different story now, Jamaica versus Wales. I mean, Jamaica has one of the best defensive units probably in this tournament. So it'll be good to see what Georgia Rowe, does against a Shamira Sterling and a Latanya Wilson. I don't know what the coach is going to, or who the coach is going to start with. So that is definitely going to be an exciting game. But I think the Australia-Tonga game is going to be a good game as well. As you mentioned, Gerard is a former Australian player. Probably one of the best defenders that Australia has had, so it'll be good to see what she can do. But I mean, you cannot talk about Tonga and not speak about Katui Vaiti, the creativity in that shooting circle, and the question is, can Courtney Bruce shut her down? Like you said, Tonga does have that experience, and they do know how the Australians play. If you look at their centre, Veve, she's playing for the Firebirds at the moment, so she knows, what type of style they play and how physical it can get. So I think we've got a good game on our hands.
Thank you so much, ladies. It was lovely talking to you again. We'll see each other a bit later on. And apparently, I have some fans here that I'd like to chat to. Hello, ladies. Are you enjoying the netball so far?
Yes, we're enjoying it. We're loving it so much. It's the first time it's on the African soil, so what a lovely opportunity for us to be able to be here.
Let me just ask you, firstly, where are you from?
Well, we're from Tata, but we live in Joburg. So we flew in last night or in the evening for the opening ceremony and for the South African game. So we're very excited. We're very excited. We're very impressed. We're impressed with Uganda. We just watched Uganda right now, and their game is really impeccable, very impressive. So we're really happy to be here.
And you are supporting the Proteas, I take it? Yes?
Yes.
Favorite players? I mean, Bongi Msomi, the captain, was so good last night, as was Ina Marie Venter.
Yeah.
What did you think of last night's game, and what do you think is going to happen today against Sri Lanka?
I think last night's game was absolutely beautiful. I think the ladies came on court and they did the best that they could. And I think that the gap also allowed us to kind of culminate some points moving forward. I think the players came in and they showed off. Taliat came in, and this was her first World Cup as well. So I think that was beautiful to see her being first on court and still being able to show up and be so presentable. And we're looking forward to Jamaica tomorrow. We definitely have an opportunity. I say they need to go out there and do their best. We're supporting them. We're behind them. We're wearing green.
Green and gold, the Proteas, South African supporters loving it. The vibe here at the Cape Town International Convention Centre, absolutely superb.